So today we're going to be talking about future value. So we're going to predict what will we have in the future, and so things they'll be asking is what will I have in the future if I invest blank to now, what will I have in the future if I say blank a month or blank a quarter or whatever it may be, or if I start by investing this amount today and save this amount per week, what would it look like? And so let's go ahead and go over this is the HPB 11 Plus. This is one of the basic business calculators. The big things to see is to clear your calculator completely, is the orange button, and C clears it all, clears everything that's stored in it as well. These buttons up here we are going to be using to help input data in order for us to do calculations without having to do big long formulas. And so those are the big key features. And then this just works down here like a basic calculator. You have your parentheses, you have your arithmetic, you have your powers and your square roots and things like that that you normally find on your calculator all down here. If it's in blue, you're going to use the blue button. If it's in orange, you use the orange button to get to it. If it's not set to where the display is showing some things it may see is you may see that you may see your periods as commas, just orange, and the period that does that. I like to have mine set to where the display is 2 decimal places. You can adjust that with your display options. And there are lots of other things for display, and we can help. If something gets off on your settings, let me know, and I'll be glad to help you reset your settings. So I'm clearing all just to get everything out that I've got in. And so we're going to look at a couple of calculations. So if I invest $5,000 today in an account that returns 9% compounded monthly, how much would I have in 40 years? These little charts, I'm going to give you a spreadsheet that has all these charts in it, and I would like you to use them to help you answer the question. And so we're going to kind of fill in the information. This is where we start with. If you'll notice, up here we have the N. The N is here. Rate, and I'm going to go ahead and change that to the IYR. That is the interest per year. So that's looking at your interest rate per year. PV stands for present value. PMT stands for payment. FV stands for future value. And I'll go ahead and change this into the new format. I keep forgetting to change my original. This is PYR, payments per year. The the interest per year, the R for that, and I think that was C to begin with for here. Those are the standard if you're looking at a formula, what you'll see. But I'm going to give you the format where it has these numbers. So the only one that's hard to find is a PYR. And if you look here at the bottom of this payment button, it is. So you'll have to use orange and that to get it. So let's go ahead and fill in the information we have. So present value is starting amount. And so we are going to start with $5,000. And then we are going to have a return. It says our return is 9%. We have 0 for payment. Our future value is what we're looking for. That's our question. So that's our missing element is future value. And payments per year, it says compounded monthly, so payments per year is 12. In order to find N, you'll take your payments per year times how long you've invested, so times 40. So 12 times 40 is going to give me 480 payments. And so 480 is what I'm going to use. So we're going to go ahead and type this information in our calculator, and I just go down this chart. So following down that chart, 480 is the first number I come through, and then I hit N. So you type the number and then press the element you're trying to plug in. And then I hit 9, IYR, interest per year, and then 5,000. And I like this because it shows me the comma, so I can make sure that I'm not getting off on place value. And that was my present value. I'm not adding anything monthly, so I'm going to put 0, payment. My future value is unknown, so if there's a question mark there, I don't plug anything in. The next thing I have is 12 payments per year, so orange, PMT. And then the last step is to push the button that I am looking for. So I'm looking for future value. Right now, don't worry about positive and negatives. I will get you to where I'll teach you how to use some things with the positive and negative. They deal with inflows and outflows of money. That's more a counting level problem. But for our purposes, we are going to go ahead and write that information. And so it's 180,000, comma, 549, and 51 cents. And so that's my answer. So the calculator just did all my work for me. If you want to fill that information in here, you can. But on your assignment, you'll have a spot where you type in the number. And I expect it rounded to the nearest penny. So that's 2 decimal places, 2 places after the decimal. So let's do the next question. And so this next question, if I invest $100 a month for 55 years, how much would I have an account that earns 8.5% interest? So on these problems, if I say you're doing it per month, that's when your compoundings are happening. If I say you're investing per quarter, your compoundings are happening per quarter. So let's fill in the information. So my N, I said I'm doing it monthly for 55 years. And then I said that my rate was 8.5%. My present value, it doesn't tell me how much I started with, so I assume a present value of 0. My payment is how much I'm adding per month, so $100 per month. I am looking for what I will have in the future, so I'm looking for future value. And the C, the number of compoundings per year, and I said I'm doing this monthly, so that's 12 compoundings per year. And so I'm going to clear my calculator from what I just had. So orange, C. And off the top of my head, I may not know what 12 times 55 is. I can get the calculator to help me with this step. 12 times 55, and I hit end. So that is 660 payments per that entire time. So why I chose 55 is, let's say you retire at 75 years old. That gives you from 20 to 75 years old at putting $100 in a month. And so that is my N. My interest rate was 8.5. That's a little bit high for what an interest rate you might get on an investment is, but not too terribly high. Our present value, we started with $0. And our payment was $100 a month. Our future value is what we're looking for, so I can't put anything for future value. That'll be my last step. And then 12, and I do my my orange, and then the payment button. So I've programmed everything in. Now I hit my future value. I will have almost $1.5 million. I will have $1,475.10 and 75. So excuse me, $1,475,010.46. So just doing $100 per month over your life cycle of working, and that's granted you started whenever you were at, oh, I just lost my data. $475 and $10.46. So that's granted you started saving when you were 20. What if you started saving when you were 16? What if you started saving when you were 18? As soon as you have a working income, you can put away into a retirement account called a Roth IRA. So you can start building this information now. So let's look at the next problem. What if I invested $500 today in an account that returns 7% plus add $400 a quarter? How much would I have in 15 years? So we have our present value was 500. Our payment was 400 a quarter. So 400 a quarter, that means that you are putting just a little bit more than $100 a month. And you are doing this for 15 years. So 15 times 4 is 60 times. And the reason I did 4 on this one is we're doing it by quarter. And quarter is 4. And we're getting 7%, so less than we were saying last time. And then the compoundings per year. How many times will my money be compounded if I'm doing it quarterly? So that's 4 times a year. So be careful. If you're compounding not at the same rate, you're going to have to change your C, and you're going to have to change this multiplier up here. So both of these two things, will change. So let's go ahead and do our calculation. So I said we're going to clear our calculator to begin with. We had 60 times it compounded. We're doing it for a shorter time this time. We're only doing it for 15 years. So this might be someone trying to save for their first house. And so we had our interest rate was 7%. And we did 500 today. And we invested 400 each quarter. We're looking for future value, so I'm not pushing that button. And I am doing it for every quarter. So 4 orange payment. And then hit the button I'm looking for. So the thing I was missing over here was future value, so that's the last button I hit. And so that would give me $43,285.99. So those are some different ways that you can set up the problems for today. You're going to be using these calculators, so use the calculator that was checked out to you and do the problems that are on GoFormative.